Hi, I'm Roberto Leitão, and in this tape, Marco Ruas, we're gonna show you how to close the distance and some of the takedowns most effective from Ruas Vale Tudo. Closing the distance is the time where the fight is exposing himself to most danger. You have to be careful to not get punched by your opponent. Marco is gonna show you how you can get punched. Look how dangerous is when you don't take care about your closing distance.
Watch closely how all the strikes you learn in the other tape work well as your opponent tries to close the distance to you. Elbows, upward elbows, everything you learn in the other tape works well. Closing the distance is something that's very difficult. It is the time when the grappler exposes himself the most. It is important for you to do it right.
Marco is gonna show you how to distract the guy, your opponent, doing some strike before close the distance. The low kick in the knee. Ok? The low kick again. De novo, devagar, bem devagar. Again.
In closing the distance, it is important for you to distract your opponent. A low kick applies pain to your opponent, so he is forced either to hold the part of his body that hurts or move his guard up. Pay attention how his guard goes up as Marco applies the kick, becoming easier for Marco to close the distance, decreasing the risk of being struck.
You can use punches to distract the guy like a fake too. Soco e entra. Uma passada. Guarda. Devagar. Rápido. Cabeça pouco mais alta.
It is important when you apply the punch to quickly protect your face and close the distance. Watch how Marco sends the punch, covers his face, and goes to and grapple Robert.
Rápido. Cabeça pouco mais alta. You have to pay attention in your step. It's very important once your head go in the front of the body of your opponent, your foot have to be in the back. And once your heads go to the back of your opponent, your foot have to go to the front. Doesn't matter if you start with your front foot or your back foot. You're gonna see Marco show very, very slow. Marco will gonna step with your front foot. His head will be in front of me, and his foot will be in the back. Go. Yeah. De novo, dá passada bem longa. Rápido. Rápido. Ok, now Marco, we're gonna start with the back foot. Troca a sua base, cabeça pela frente, vem. Yeah. Yeah. Ok, segura. Look, his head in front of me, and he stepped the foot from the back side. Again, de novo. Now, Marco, we're gonna put the head on my back, and he must step with his foot from my side, my front side. First, he's gonna step with his front foot. Remember, head on the back, foot on the front. De novo. Rápido. Passada mais rápido que a da frente. Hein? Okay, change, muda a base. Now, Marco, we're going to step with the back foot, doing the same position. É. Exato. Sempre olhando para mim. Bem devagar. Abaixa um pouquinho mais. Isso! You have to pay attention to in your level. Your head don't have to be lower than your waist, than your opponent's waist, and never too high. Look how Marco changed his level. Abaixa, vai. Good. Abaixa, vai. Bem devagar. Ah, passa. Rápido. Rápido.
One of the very important things in this move is to keep your head right on your opponent's chest to avoid him to be able to put you in a guillotine choke. Watch how Marco places his head exactly on Robert's chest, which also gives him more leverage on the takedown and protects his head. Had him put his head under Robert's arm, in the takedown, Marco's head would hit the ground, as Robert's body did too. By placing the head exactly on the center of his body, you're protecting your head.
Once you close the distance, you have to take care about your grip. Marco is going to show 2 grips he likes to use. First grip, mostra só. And second grip. De novo, bem devagar. Both grips he likes to use.
These are the 2 ways of holding your opponent. It is important for you to grip it tight so you, after closing the distance, you do not lose your position. That's the first grip, and that's grip number 2.
I like to remember you to never do like this, because if the guy have your grip, he can break your fingers. It's very dangerous to do this position. Never do like that. Yeah! You can hold your opponent even just in the waist or with one arm under. Só a cintura. Just the waist. Ok? With one arm under. Com o braço. With the other arm under. Okay. Again, just the waist. One arm under. And the other arm under. If Marco grab me with my arm under, he must keep my elbow touching my body. Then I have no power to break. If my elbow is too far, deixa eu ficar pouco mais longe. I have power to break and hold him. He have to keep my elbow touching my body. You have to practice a lot of exercise with your arms, then you can control better your opponent during the fight. You have to practice like this. Going with your arm under your opponent's arm. Then you can hold the guy. Vai na cintura. Cintura.
This exercise is very, very good for fighters to do, because what that exercise does is gives you endurance, builds strength, and it's oftentimes when two grapplers close the distance, they will be fighting for this position. The position they're trying to accomplish there is to have both arms under their opponent's arms. This way they can do the grip and do a takedown. In order for the takedown to take place, the fighter must have both arms under his opponent's armpits. So that's what they're battling for. And watch, the moment one of those guys do it, they hold the grip and the takedown takes place. Watch it closely. And now the grip takes place. Now it's Marco's takedown.
Or even with one arm under. Vamos fazer isso, você vai me segurar. Again. De novo. Now we're gonna show you some takedowns. The first takedown, Marco gonna hold me, me segura, lift me up, and sweep me. Oh, sweep me with the leg. Vai. As you see, Marco just passed my guard. He's on my side and ready to many attacks.
This is a great takedown. Watch how Marco closes the distance, lifts Robert a little bit, and sweeps him. One of the great things about this takedown is that it takes very little strength, and once on the ground, Marco is already in an advantage position. He has already passed the guard. Now remember, once you do the takedown, do not hurry. Establish your position first, then you think about attacking.
At this time, Marco will gonna hold me, passing to my back, and with a hook, we're gonna throw me facing to the floor. Hold me, turn. Once again, very slow. We're gonna close the distance. Hold me, passing through my back, hook, and throw me facing to the floor.
This takedown, when you close the distance, you quickly go to your opponent's back. In the Ruas, Vale, Tudo, one of the greatest places for you to be is in your opponent's back, because nobody can fight from their back. And if you establish your position, you can choke him out, you can apply strikes, you can do whatever you want. Watch how Marco goes to the back, and from there, it's his fight.
In the next movement, Marco will gonna do the double leg attack and throwing me to the floor. A double leg attack, lift me, ooh. The double leg attack, Marco gonna throw me, vem, hold my legs and lift me up to the side.
This takedown is also very effective, and when landing, you pay attention how Marco is already past the guard, and now he chooses to put the knee on Robert's stomach and apply punches, or he can go for an arm bar. Watch now. Now the hip throw. We are wrestle in the fight. In close distance, Marco gonna hold me, lift me up for my waist, and twist, throw me to the floor. He can finish in many ways. Ah! Yeah. In real speed. Remember, turning your back to your opponent is not very advised. This is one of the few takedowns that you can turn your back to your opponent and quickly apply an arm lock if you choose to, or you can just strike.
Real speed. The next one will be the airplane. This position Marco did in his first fight in UFC 7, throwing his opponent through the floor. First, Marco hold me, change his arm, putting his arm between my legs, lift me up, then will throw me down. Watch again. Hold me, lift me, and here I'm done. He's passing the guard and can do many positions.
This is the airplane takedown. Watch how Marco chooses to put Robert on the ground nicely. However, he can just slam Robert's weight on the ground and just either mount it, strike, or get him in arm lock. This is a very, very effective takedown. There is a case in the past of a fighter that Marco dislocated his shoulder with this takedown. Watch it now. How Marcos lowers his body and makes the strength with his legs. The more you lower your body, easier it will be for you to lift your opponent. It's a leg movement. So it doesn't matter how heavy your opponent is.
I hope you enjoyed the tape. Remember, closing the distance is the time where the fighter is in most danger. watch the tape again and get ready for a real fight.